Welcome in, everybody. How are you? Good to see you this evening. Hit that like button on the way in. We have some preliminary news that I talked about a little bit the other night. We had sort of revisited the Michael Vaughan case because, that there had been these enormous lulls in the case and trying to sort of figure out where everybody stood on this. The Michael Vaughan case is something that is extremely near and dear to my heart, something that I've been covering for quite some time. And today Stacey was scheduled for release from custody, something that we also covered on this show, that he had been incarcerated, which is a perpetual situation in his world. He is a constant detriment to society. And anyway, so it's really good to see you guys, but he was released from custody today and almost immediately rearrested with charges pending. However, the charges are not public yet, but it is being said that they are being charged for kidnapping and murder of Michael Vaughan in the next few hours. And that and also that Sara will be also indicted as well. And this comes from very, very reliable sources and people very close to the investigation. I'm kind of speechless, and that my stomach is a little in knots, but I knew that he was being released today, and it's a very scary thing. And when people like that are released back into society, I said the other night when I was talking about this, since Stacey was going to be released, that that Fruitland was on the clock, and it's something that you wait for. And look, these charges have been drafted up for some time. There's no secret about that. I mean, that they have had charges drafted. So it sounds as though the two people that have been, or that are going to be charged initially, which should be the case, will be Sara Wandra and Stacey Wandra. And hopefully, and I don't know anything about this yet, but I hope that this becomes the case, that Brandon Shirtliff will be arrested as well. I have always thought for some time, my personal belief, that Brandon knows where Michael is. I don't have proof of that, and I couldn't prove it to you, but I just, from the entire situation, from the entire layout, that Brandon, who was operating outside, while Stacey and Sara both were in custody, that he would know where Michael is. Now, he has not, I haven't heard anything about any charges coming for him yet. I do believe that he will be charged. I've always believed that. Now, a lot of the times that these things happen when people start getting charged and things start getting stacked on one after the other, that what ends up eventually happening, hopefully, is that people want to make deals. And so let's pray that that is the case. Now, as far as Adrian, I don't know. I don't know much about what's going on with Adrian. Although I did have somebody reach out to me just the other day wanting an update about Adrian. They said that it was his cousin and that he hadn't heard from him or heard about this. Other than that, I don't know. And I have a feeling that when the big charges hit the table, someone will tell the whole story about the others and efforts to save themselves. Thanks for covering this, Josh. It really gives me chills. It gives me chills too, Trevor. And it's so good to see you, buddy. It is very surreal because this is a case that goes back such a long way. I'll never forget the first time I ever met Brandy, when she came up on my panel. I started covering this case when almost nobody that I had seen had covered it with any sort of in-depthness. But she was banging on my door, figuratively, saying that she wanted this covered. And in the Summer Wells case, the Summer Wells was getting basically the bulk of coverage. That's what was happening. And it was sort of drowning out anything else that was going on. And so anyway, what ended up happening there was I got contacted by someone else in the case, and or that I knew, and they said, "Hey, could you please look into this?" And we did. The rest is history. Like I said, I did what I could. I do what I can, and I was able to link the Cold Case Foundation with the Fruitland Police Department, and so to play a very small role in that, I will always be proud. But there's been so much hard work that's gone into this, and just paying attention to this. When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And it is from talking to the guy to talking to Stacey to talking to Sarah's ex-husband, from listening to Brandon and all of his bull crap that he's been involved with in this case as well. There has never been a doubt in my mind that justice would be coming. Just for the simple fact, if you listen to the story that was being told by Stacey himself, and I told Stacey this the one day that he came up on Justin's panel at Clutch Them Pearls, and I don't know if he's live right now or not, but I told Stacey, I said, I don't know what you're doing, but I will tell you that this will inevitably, what you're doing right now, and he had already done it, so I wasn't stopping anything in progress, but whatever he was doing was going to come back and bite him in the ass. And I feel like here they come, jaws are snapping, and I'm fine with it. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. And there's a lot of people that are and everybody, everybody that has been invested in this. And like I said, this isn't the end of anything. It's really the beginning of something. So, we are sort of just hunkering down, waiting for the charges to be officially announced. And hopefully that is in the next few hours, hopefully. And it's just a case that on every level. Like, you know, when I was talking about it last night, one of the craziest things about this case was when you listen to the story being told, Michael is missing, and this small community of people are searching for young Michael. They're looking for him. They're yelling for him. Everybody in the community, except a few. And the few that aren't searching are actually end up going in the exact opposite direction of the searchers. They were heading out of town. They were off and leaving. That'll tell you a lot. That'll tell you everything that you need to know, that these people are the people that they weren't helping. They were going the opposite way. Everybody else searching for Michael, but not Stacey, not Sara, not Brandon, not Adrian. The 4 people that have been accused of this and were official suspect and have been official suspects for quite some time, they were not looking. And once again, you don't look for something or somebody when you know where they are. And that goes for all missing children. That goes for all missing people. Why would you help when you know where they are? And I believe that they knew, and I believe that they know. I believe Brandon, if he wants any chance, and Brandon, I hope that you see this, if you want any chance for anything, I don't know what it is that you're looking for. I mean, you need to do the right thing for the first time in your life. The people that are involved in this case need to do the right thing. Stop putting themselves over a child that was just looking to play and was kidnapped. Now, once again, you know, you guys have seen the photo of the mysterious man walking down the road. Well, he's not mysterious. That's Brandon. Shirtless, no question about it. Give me 1 second here. Phone's popping. You know, and I would get questions, and I got questions quite often, which were fair. They said, Josh, what is something coming? And I would say, I don't know. I just know that it is coming. And I believe that the charges are going to be harsh and severe and appropriate. This is a premeditated act. Any way that you look at it, they planned it. They had talked about it. They executed it, and they've covered up whatever there was. Let's see. Why did they rearrest him? He is being charged in Michael's case. Now, the exact charges, I'm not sure, but I believe that kidnapping is one of them, and I believe that murder is another one. And I believe that both, and let me just look at this again. Sometimes it takes a little while to hit the wire. Oh yeah, that's right. This is Matt. Good to see you. It is excellent news. Okay, so the charges sound like they're going to be first-degree murder, abduction, and other charges, probably hindering investigation, tampering with evidence, tampering with I mean, there's a lot. There's take your pick, and they're going to need to charge them with the most severe, because eventually some of those will be pled either thrown out or maybe pled down. I don't know, but it sounds like the charges that are coming are going to carry major sentences if found guilty, and then I believe that they will. I believe that they will, and I think that this is such a long time coming. Bittersweet, but nonetheless, I mean, what can you say? I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, and if you want me to, I can play it. I played it the other night on the lab, but that conversation that I had, Justin and I had with Stacey, was one of the most surreal conversations. And just, I mean, everything that he said was a lie. And he got caught up in it, and it was a contentious conversation. And I knew that when we were talking to him, that it was going downhill, and it went downhill fast for him. And I was truly concerned and upset that he was being released from jail today, just the day before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. I wish Thanksgiving, the day before Halloween, which is appropriate, in itself. That it's just a terrible. He's just a terrible person. But let me just bring this up really quick and make sure to hit that like button so we can share this out. Hold on. All right. So yeah, see, that's who he. These charges that are coming are going to be. These charges that are coming are going to be related to Michael's case and nothing else. Now, a lot of the time, what happens is when you have these criminals that constantly are constantly getting themselves into trouble, and they're constantly, in serving time. Sometimes they will let them just sit in jail while charges are pending, or wait for them to be released, because once they're charged, they have to go, and they have to go fast. They have a right to a speedy trial. Not that either of them would understand probably what that is, but none of his story had ever made sense. I'm going to play a little bit of this right now. This is from Justin for All, aka Clutch Them Pearls. Is he here, by the way? Is he in here? Or is he live right now?
Questions regarding this.
Tell me if you can hear.
Right.
But you don't have anything to offer as to where Michael is.
I don't. You're right, because I don't.
So what I'm saying is, like, and the point that, I mean, that should take 5 minutes.
I don't see that. That's why I'm doing. There's a lot of bullshit talk. There's a lot of crap talk about each and every one of us. I'm just honestly going out there because I know what happened that night. I know that I know the whereabouts where I was. I know the whereabouts where Sara and Brandon were. I don't see that. That's why I'm doing this, because there's a lot of questions
Imagine him getting on the stand like this
regarding this.
Yeah. Right. But you don't have anything to offer as to where Michael is.
I don't. You're right, because I don't.
So what I'm saying is, like, and the point that, I mean, that should take 5. Now, Brandon, I know Brandon's out there. He's got a, I actually had a conversation with Brandon as well, where he at one point was pretending that it wasn't him, but it was him, and then he was just being really. I mean, not that I would expect him to be normal, but he for some reason was he played little games, and I know he's out there, and I know that he watches this stuff, and I know that he's probably going to end up being in trouble too, and I can't wait
5 minutes to say
he has taken a polygraph.
I did take a polygraph, and I was very well informed that I passed a polygraph by detectives, by the FBI, by my mom, who the detectives told. I was also told that Sara and Brandon did not.
Have you told investigators anything that you haven't told the public? And if so, why?
Not at all.
So your story that you're telling everybody is the exact same that you have told in the interrogations.
Exactly.
And to stop an interrogation, what you did, you said that Michael was in the yard. How does that, did that stop an interrogate? Did that actually stop it?
I haven't been interrogated since. I haven't heard from law enforcement. I haven't talked to law enforcement. I haven't even heard a peep from anybody.
So they dug up that entire yard, as we all saw. We watched.
Now, I think most of you that have followed this case remember the reason that the yard was dug up was because Stacey was directing investigators as to where Michael's body was. I believe what happened is that Stacey went to jail for the gun charge or whatever it was he went to jail for that time. And they knew that Stacey has a big mouth, that they couldn't trust him. And so they had to move Michael and not let Stacey know, because Stacey will sell anybody out for enough zebra cakes. You feel me?
Them do it based on just you saying that he was buried in the yard to stop it.
Correct.
Yes.
So you tricked law enforcement into doing that?
I guess if you want to put it that way, yes.
Well, I mean, that's against the law, right?
I mean, do you think
so? You very well, you could and probably should be charged with that. But and I'm not here to like trip you up or hang you or be mean to you or anything.
Let's not forget the reason this man says that he could not give Sara they both have girls' names, so it's really tough for me sometimes. But you have to remember that the reason that he couldn't give Sara a baby was because he got his nuts obliterated when he was a bull rider.
Anything. But how is it that you
I don't think they make chaps that big.
Can trick dogs into hitting on human decomp? You can't do that. You can trick the police.
Mr. E, good to see you. Thoughts and prayers are with you as well.
But you're not tricking dogs.
No, not at all. But
the dogs did hit, correct?
Apparently that's what
there were supposed to be multiple dogs.
Stacey wanted $100 from me after this live, after he called and cussed me out and told me all this stuff. And obviously I'm not going to pay anybody like that for an interview, but if he can come up with some footage of him bucking a bull, like if he could come up with some footage, I would gladly give him $100 to watch him get his balls smashed in by that bull. Doesn't even have to be that. I just want to see him get on to the bull. That's it.
So you told them that Michael was buried in the yard, and then, which you say is a lie, but then dogs hit on human decomp in that yard.
They hit before I told them that. That's why they questioned me.
So they hit before?
Correct.
So did
But to prove my point that there was nothing back there, that's why I had them go dig it up.
They would, but once again, he's so full of it because they wouldn't just go dig up. They wouldn't. First of all, they wouldn't just take his word for it. They would have to have some sort of corroborating evidence, which they did, and they said that every single trained dog hit on human decomposition in that yard. And if you listen here, at one point, he basically goes out of his way and says, he was probably, or he was back there. If you just listen.
I knew there was nothing back there.
Oh, crap.
I simply was very much so under pressure. I was being interrogated to the point of tears.
Speaker Mike Johnson.
To tears? I doubt that. Tears? Oh, what happened here?
4?
Correct.
To tears, guys.
So did...
But to prove my point that there was nothing back there, that's why I had them go dig it up. I knew there was nothing back there. I simply was very much so under pressure. I was being interrogated to the point of tears. I mean, for hours a day, for like 3 or 4 days. And honestly, I could not take it. It was killing me.
But I thought you said you gave them the tip.
I did give them the tip after they interrogated me.
If the dogs would have hit earlier, they would have just dug it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so obviously,
they wouldn't have known to search your house if they hadn't had it, if you hadn't given them the tip.
That's what I'm saying. I told them.
You told them, and then the dogs hit, correct?
No.
Because the dog, if they hit on
dogs hit before, that's at least what I'm being told. That's what law enforcement told me. That's what detective
they would dig it up though. They would have dug it up if dogs would have hit. They didn't. They dug it up because you said Michael was buried in the yard.
Correct.
Okay, but
then they bring the dogs out there to confirm that hey, there is human there is they're hitting out here. So then they dig it up.
All I know is I told them that fable. That's what I told them. I don't know anything further than that.
I remember when he was using those words like fable and abracadabra dogs.
And you can see how that's going to be hard for people to understand.
I do, absolutely.
Because I mean that's a lot to tell. I mean, to get an interrogation to stop, all you would need to do is say, "Hey, I want to talk to my lawyer."
And I did that. My lawyer was present with me.
Okay. I've got the clip where JD Huff said we have multiple dogs hit and we've got all of this based on evidence, it says.
And testimony. I mean, and that's what I'm really wondering is because like I said, this is just what I think.
I hope he testifies too, but all of this stuff that he's saying here and all the stuff that he said publicly, all of that, I doubt if he gets a lawyer worth half of a shiz, then he won't testify. If we're lucky and he gets a lawyer as dumb as he is, then he will. I doubt he will, but I think that all of this stuff will come into play and he will not need to testify.
I think that you plan on being indicted like everybody else that was up there on those poster boards, and you're trying to get ahead of this thing, kind of get your story out there, which I don't blame you, but it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. I know it is.
Jaws is snapping, baby.
But what you're going to do is since there's 4 different people involved, what's going to end up happening is you guys are all going to start throwing each other under the bus. You're kind of Brandon was the first one. Then it's you because you're out of jail now. And Adrian eventually at trial or whatever is happening here. But what I'm saying is I don't understand why anybody would tell the police that there's a kid buried in the yard to stop an interrogation. What good does that do? Did that help you in some way?
The probable
Because
cause
why you
affidavit-
wouldn't tell him that unless he was actually buried in that yard.
He wasn't.
He wasn't when they went back, but he was at one point, according to the dogs.
But the
And to
problem,
you.
the problem is how is he not? I mean, how is he not found? I mean, he obviously was in that yard at some point. Investigators and dogs and everyone picked it up. Now, maybe you didn't have nothing to do with it, but somebody at that house did. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And who was it?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling my side, because I know for a fact, and per the posters and the pictures and everything that I posted that I sent to Justin, like I had nothing to do with this boy's disappearance. I had no knowledge of him being buried.
The whole this boy thing always annoyed me as well.
If he was buried, that's news to me. And
It's not like they respect anything. They don't respect nothing. They don't respect people. They don't respect personal items. Like Stacey was stealing shit from his roommates and all kinds of weirdness.
And what's weird about it is our neighborhood, like they have cameras that like from Sky Cam or whatever it is, that you can see into the backyard. There was no dig holes. My dog Oakley, it was a digger, but she dug right when you walked out the front patio where the dead spot is, where the barbecue was.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now,
it was dead because the barbecue we had two barbecues at the time, and one was sitting on the grass.
And for the people just coming in, I want to reiterate, just tell you what it is that's going on here. That Stacey Wander was released from custody today on non-related charges to the Michael Vaughan disappearance and kidnapping, then rearrested with charges pending that look to be first-degree murder, kidnapping, and tampering. So for the people that are just getting here, that is what is happening currently. And hopefully like I said, we're just hours away from an official indictment. But it is coming.
One of the things.
Oh,
sorry, Justin.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, one of the things that the dog would do is when they're sniffing in the yard, not only would they do that, at any point, if he was in the house at all, if Michael was in your house, the dogs would hit at the front porch. Did they?
No, not to my knowledge. No.
I think they hit beside the front porch.
Oh, okay. So that would indicate that he was near the house. So Michael, I mean, let's just be honest here. Michael was around that house.
Huh?
Michael was around that house. The dogs aren't going to hit just for no reason unless you buried somebody else back there.
I don't know. I have no information to give to that. Like I told everybody and anybody on here, if I knew something about this, because I am in no way okay with abducting a child, killing him, burying him.
Sounds like the exact stuff that you're going to be charged for.
I would bury somebody else for doing that to somebody like that.
Now,
Right.
the probable
I
cause
would be-
affidavit, David, it says that you spoke to them while you were not in custody about this.
I gave them permission
Okay, maybe that's what
to
that
search the house when Sara got arrested.
Mhm.
I didn't get arrested. She got arrested April 13th of 2022. I got arrested May 6th of 2022.
Okay. All right.
Do you expect to be indicted for this?
I was going to ask the
I mean,
If I am-
obviously you have an idea that you're probably, or else you wouldn't be doing this. I mean, let's just, I've seen
Doing
this
this to
before.
clear to tell my
How
side
long ago was this? Like 2 years ago? How long? Does anybody
of
remember?
the story. And if I'm indicted, they've got a long road ahead of them with going to trial.
Well, I mean, not really. If you told him that he was in the yard, I mean, you're going to be charged with lying to investigators if that's what you did. And that's a serious crime too.
And if I am, I am. I own up to that.
This
take
is in
accountability.
October. Prosecutors on the investigation over Michael says, quote, I expect to charge it.
Yeah, I mean, they put 4 posters up of people, and I'm not saying you don't.
The reason that all of this happened was because they were the ones that said, hey, we have information about the Michael Vaughan case. Both of them were trying to get a deal while they were incarcerated to get time off or get the best deal. And what happened was, well, what I believe is that that Michael was moved and Stacey didn't know it while he was trying to get a deal. They knew that Stacey was going to try and sell them up the river. And that's that they knew Stacey. They knew what kind of scumbag he is, that he's all about himself and that he would roll on them. And it's quite the role. And they wanted to get ahead of that.
Don't have the right to defend yourself. You absolutely do. And if you have nothing to do with this, all that should come out eventually. But I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I just don't. I can't get past like how you would just say, hey, yeah, he's in the yard.
I literally made that up.
And
there was
dogs literally hit on human decomposition.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is if you made it up and he was actually in the backyard, I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Stacey?
I feel you, and I get that, but
and I hope that this specific, when we were doing this, I felt at some point that maybe this interview that Justin and I were doing, well, by the way, which I had zero intention of being a part of, even though I was graciously asked by Justin to come on. And I was like, I just can't talk to him because he bothers me. Like I don't think I can have that conversation with him. And it was tough. I mean, it was a tough conversation because he just pissed me. I mean, he was just pissing me off.
That's a hell of a coincidence.
I gave him a direction. Okay, this is where I know that it was a lie, because that dog may have hit in the backyard, but the direction and area that I pointed to him, the dogs did not hit around at that house in the backyard. I told them he was literally buried directly across from the patio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who do you think did this?
I don't know.
I know
Adrian has, according to detectives and what I've been told by them, that Adrian has a huge history of human trafficking. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh.
But the matter of the fact is when and how he would get away with doing something like that, because I have no knowledge of any of this.
Okay. All right. Let me just play this. And this was what they said.
Everybody, I just wanted to start out by saying thank you.
Let me.
And it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland.
Can you pause that for a second?
As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search.
Why it says that they received credible information. So that's based on your tip alone. Yeah.
Like, he's the one that gave the credible information.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was just checking.
Okay.
He's so stupid. The whole reason that this is happening is because of his dumbass.
Search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th.
I look, I don't disagree. I believe personally that Sara was the mastermind behind all of this, and that she found 3 people dumb enough and sick enough and disgusting enough, allegedly, to go along with her disgusting plan. Because, well, first of all, Stacey has no balls, quite figuratively and literally.
It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sara Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sara was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement.
What would the probable cause be?
Him.
That's my favorite. That might be my favorite part of this whole conversation. This whole interview is because they're like, well, based on probable cause. Justice says, well, what was the probable cause? He's the probable cause. He's the one that's been spilling it.
Following day that she had.
I mean, you've all seen. I don't know if you've all seen it, but we've all seen that body cam of when he was giving directions to investigators on the phone. And yes, McDonough was on the phone with him. And so, yeah, the whole reason, everything about the probable cause has to do with him. He's the reason.
Knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement.
What would the probable cause be?
Him.
The following day, the Fruitland
He just sits there too.
Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wanderers' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue.
All right, Rusty Shackelford with the Jason Mass says, I hope he plays touch butt in the Big Slammer and never sleeps well ever again. Touch butt. I'm sure.
Mountain States
Hey, can we play Mr. Bull Rider?
Detection dogs deployed multiple certified
Stacey got his nuts smashed by a bull.
human remains detection dogs.
Oh, that's why I couldn't get Sara pregnant, because he got his balls smashed by a bull
on the property.
Listen to this.
All of them alerting to the presence of human remains.
I could just see his ass in his way too small of a cell, just going like a rhinestone cowboy.
All of them.
So that's where the problem,
right?
You know, that's where the story really starts to fall apart for you. Is you're saying that I made this up, but then you have multiple dogs. Every dog that was there hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hitting. I mean, you can bring them to my backyard right now. I can make up a lie. They're not going to hit, and they're not going to dig up my yard. But hopefully they'll finish cutting up the rest of that tree that I pruned, put it in the recycle bin, and roll it down to the sidewalk for next week. I mean, you understand that.
Penetrating radar was also used.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. I was just wondering.
I just want to finish this little bit.
Deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation.
And that's where something has been dug and, the ground isn't as firm.
Of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt.
And when they're released, we'll go over them. No question about it.
Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that
based on evidence
that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing.
I mean, that's
Sara wanted a baby, right?
She wanted a baby.
Did she take Michael?
Nah, he's not a I mean, that's just the story. That's the story that he told Brandon And that's why Brandon was giving it his best go to get Sara. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to like judge people, but this house was nothing more than a flop house, trap house, house of debauchery, just the devil's den, if you will. I mean, there's just no moral compass anywhere with amongst any of these people. And Stacey had no problem, he pretends that he does, but he had no problem letting his wife sleep with other men. And it was disgusting that these people were operating in a neighborhood with other people while scout. I mean, there's just things that they just were just gross. Sorry,
I have no idea.
I mean, she's your wife. You would have some
Sarah
idea.
was also very deceitful and hid everything from me. She had a fucking gun. She held Tanner Butler up at gunpoint with.
Mhm.
I had no idea.
I like how he said Tanner Butler, like I have any idea who that is. I have no freaking idea who Tanner Butler is. I mean, I do now, but at the time he's like, Tanner Butler? Yeah, dude, we know Tanner.
Or any knowledge about the gun that she had. Because Randy Strickland, who was staying with us, asked her to not tell me about it because I was a felon.
Mm-hmm. Is that
And
what
he
you got in
trusted her
trouble
more
for?
than me. Huh?
Is
I
that what
got
you?
for having my own gun.
Right.
Great.
Well, the
Were
main
you
thing
offered
that-
a deal, like a
Here we go.
cooperation deal?
They offered this before they dug the yard, and they said that they would give me a 15 plus 7, but in the condition that I would tell them where the body is. And I said, I don't know where the body is.
Currently, or you did in the past?
I have never known where the body is.
Somebody in the chat just said that Adrian was left with a duffel bag. You know anything about that?
No, never even knew that he had a duffel bag with him.
He's right. He doesn't know anything about Adrian leaving with the duffel bag because it was Brandon. I said I got it wrong, but we corrected.
He had a backpack.
So you unequivocally, absolutely never at any point in your life have seen Michael Vaughan. Never.
I don't even know who this kid was, and that's deep down, honest to God, with everything in my heart. I have no idea. I've never seen this kid. I didn't even know he existed. I didn't even know who Tyler and Brandy were.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, I've never seen that kid in my day of my life.
Okay, so Brandon had a duffel bag. Excuse me. What did Brandon what was Brandon doing with the duffel bag?
He had his clothes in it. Like, I watched him.
Once again, another major point here. If you listen to the story, that while Michael is missing and everybody else is looking for him, Brandon is telling Stacey and Sara that he must go to his mom's house 30 to 40 minutes away and do laundry in there at her house, and he has to pack up all of his clothes while Sara runs a washing service, which is beyond me. I mean, you'd have to actually, the fact that people trusted her with their clothes, but she ran a laundry service. There was a perfectly good washer and dryer in that house. So at the exact time that Michael's missing, all of a sudden, Brandon Shirtliff has to do laundry. Okay.
When we went to go tow the car, I watched him have an empty duffel bag. It was empty. And I watched him fill it with all of his clothes that he had in our house.
Was it your duffel bag?
No, it was his.
So you're not missing a duffel bag?
Not at all.
Okay.
What about underneath the house?
There
The
was
crawl
a crawl
space.
space, but that crawl space literally it was in the walk-in closet from our bathroom.
Right.
That literally had an empty Savage Arms old box from an old 17 that I had.
Okay.
Did a dog hit at Brandon's house?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't confirm that because I've been told things through lives, like doing YouTube lives, but I've never heard anything from the police. No.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any whatever to,
I just don't understand why you would lie to the feds about saying that there's a body in the backyard.
you
And
have
then,
to understand it coming from my point of view and my mental disability that I suffer with, like not as an excuse, but
What's your mental
legit-
disability?
I have fetal alcohol syndrome. I have Asperger's. I have autism, which is Asperger's. I have bipolar, intermittent explosive disorder. Now, mind you, 98% of those I've overcome being in group homes my whole life. But people that have fetal alcohol syndrome, it is very common that people get put in very pressured situations
and
and the instant reaction just to give something to get them to back off.
and you're right, but the problem is what you told them is what they have evidence that there was someone in the backyard.
Okay, but they did not specify where the dogs hit. They said they hit in the backyard.
Yeah, well, talk too much syndrome is a good thing in this case. Like I said, I like if we have to have criminals in society, it's nice to know that there are some dumb ones who won't shut up. Because that's how I like my criminals personally. I like my criminals dumb and talking.
I told them where it made up again, where
Well-
he was buried, which was directly across when you walk out the back patio door. It was directly straight across, right in the middle of the fence, in the middle of the yard. They didn't specify where he was hit. They said that they dug by the shed and that the dogs had hit around the shed area. That's what I've been told. I know, and if you read their report, or you probably can pull it up, she literally, I don't know if it's accessible or not, but I know for a fact that when I gave them that location, they literally, I watched it on video when they were digging at that spot. Detective was on the phone with me.
Mhm.
They dug nothing up. The dogs did not hit in that spot. I watched them.
Mhm.
But Shelley Klein, yes, he was released today and then rearrested. Charges haven't been officially released, but what Sam from Pacific Northwest and many others have informed me that it will be first degree murder, kidnapping, tampering, and a slew of other things that will get figured out down the road.
But you said that he was in the yard.
I said he was in that direct spot, but he was never there. Clearly,
Well, he was in that yard somewhere at one point.
somewhere, probably, I don't know.
He
I have
probably
nothing.
was.
I don't have knowledge of it.
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
said,
you
I have
didn't pull
never-
that out of thin air. Maybe
Yes, I
Adrian
did.
told you, maybe
Yes, I
Sarah told you, maybe Brandon
No.
told you.
But this is exactly why it's hard for me to do these live.
Yeah.
No,
I love this part.
He was in that yard somewhere at one point.
somewhere, probably.
They're going to play this. I mean, they're going to play or at least have transcripts of this stuff.
I don't know.
He
I have
probably
nothing.
was.
I don't have knowledge of it.
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
said, I
you
have
didn't pull
never-
that out of thin air. Maybe
Yes, I
Adrian
did.
told you, maybe
Yes, I
Sarah told you, maybe Brandon
No.
told you.
But this is exactly why it's hard for me to do these lives, because people are gonna try to judge me and say that I literally didn't. I had something to do with it. My question to you is why, when they did a polygraph test and I answered every question they asked me about Michael's disappearance, why on earth would I pass that polygraph?
Well,
You know,
to be honest,
I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I'll be called to testify. Probably not, but I would be willing to, no question.
you don't just get a false positive on a polygraph.
I wear a tie and everything.
but the thing is, I'm going to throw something back at you after you if you are taking heavy medications and
I haven't taken any medication.
and you have these
I haven't taken
disorders,
medication for years.
Well, do you have proof that you passed the polygraph?
You can probably
Bebop Alula, not admissible in court. Right. Okay. Sure, you know.
get it in the affidavit
Because I
somewhere.
mean, you can't use
I
it
can
in a
tell
court of
you
law
that
anyway.
three people talked to me about my polygraph,
You never heard you have the right to remain silent. Anything you can say will be used against you in a court of law. That means anything.
including the guy that did the polygraph in the Meridian Police Department, the Highway Patrol. The
Mhm.
guy that did the polygraph told me, he asked, how do you feel you did? And I said, I was honest about everything. He goes, you're right, you did. And then later on,
Polygraphs are not admissible in court. That's true.
I talked to the detectives. They also verified. Scott Crimmin was also at the Meridian Highway Patrol during my testing. He also said that I passed my polygraph.
Did
Anita,
Sarah pass?
no. According to what I'm being told, no.
You said that right away too. No, and Bebop Alula. If that's what you were talking about, you're correct. I believe this would be allowed though.
don't have confirmation. I'm hearing that from my mom and what the detectives told my mom because Sara was married to me.
So here's a common occurrence in these kinds of cases is that people want to give information, but they don't want to implicate themselves. They want to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Sara not passing, but you passing. 3 other people may know what have happened, but I don't know what happened. And then you see what I'm saying, and you see where I'm going with it. I'm not trying to be rude and trip you up here. I'm just saying you pulling that out of thin air is almost impossible.
And it's not impossible for me.
I said almost impossible.
Okay, and I believe that. Okay, almost impossible, yeah. But for me, it wasn't impossible. If you literally sat there, you would see how literally like how on the verge of tears I was because of being interrogated so hard and so rough. And I told them the same exact thing the very first 4 interviews before the last one, before when I told them about where he was in the backyard. I told them the same exact thing that I've told everybody else. I have never met this kid a day in my life. I've never seen him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him disappearing, any of that.
Do you know what day they gave you the
Calidina? Did you know that he is he's gifted spiritually and mentally?
The polygraph one?
What, David?
Do you know what day they gave you the polygraph?
It was May 18th, I believe. It was literally the day that I got my case dropped for felon in possession out of state when the feds picked it up.
Okay. So while you so you're basically lying to them while you're on the phone with them while they're digging up the backyard.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Now, see, the thing about the day is like you're saying that you and Sara and Brandon went to Cuna.
No.
Now, the thing with Brandon's story, which he's saying that him and Stacey got home and they went to the gas station.
Him and Sara?
Or Sara, sorry. Him and Sara went to the gas station at 7 o'clock.
No.
And it's like somebody's lying here. Somebody's lying. And
they never went to
it's all of them. They're all lying.
To the gas station. We left in our truck to go tow his car upon his request.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you stop at 8th in Arizona again? I'm just curious about that.
To put power steering fluid in the truck. And it wasn't directly on Arizona Street. It was probably about 50, 60, maybe 70 feet, 80, maybe 100 feet behind Arizona, like before Arizona Street. Literally right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled off.
Was Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, just about the time that Michael goes missing, you understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know what else to tell you guys.
I mean, once again, like if and there are lawyers will rip him apart better than anything that I ever could do to him, literally. But none of these answers are
Told
good.
us.
And
Street is where we pulled off. Literally right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled off.
was Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, just about the time that Michael goes missing, you understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. I've told everything. I've told everything.
Look, I've asked everything that I need, and I know some people are saying, "Oh, Josh, you're being mean." I don't think I am. I'm just asking questions. And I'll let you finish up, Justin.
No, I don't think you're being mean. And I mean, I think we're trying to find out what's going on here. And that's the thing. There's 4 different people saying 4 different things. What time were you on 8th and with the power steering fluid?
I don't have an exact time. Like I said, it's probably.
But the problem is, like, why do you need to stop right then and put power steering fluid in?
Because when Sara made the left turn, the whining on the truck, when you have low on power steering fluid and your power steering is low on fluid, it will cause an extensive whine. And it literally sprays everywhere.
Brandon
so we
is
literally knew we were making the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we stopped literally just for the sole purpose of putting power steering fluid in. I had got out in the passenger side of the truck. Sara popped the hood. I opened the hood, opened power steering reservoir, poured power steering fluid in, closed the cap on the power steering fluid, walked back around to the passenger side truck, and we left.
Are you guys on CCTV anywhere?
Yeah, they have that picture as well. They have that.
They have what?
Well, Mr. E, it was going to be Stacey, but his plan fell apart. Basically, it sounded like it all hinged on him giving the location of Michael's body, which he was willing to do, except he didn't know anymore where Michael's body was because they knew that he's a fat mouth in jail. And so they said, well, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to move Michael. This is just my opinion. That's what happened.
Have the picture of us.
It was him. He wanted the deal. I think that Brandon ultimately knows, but
stopping on 8th Street. They have the video. It was CCTV.
I think Brandon is probably the one most likely. So
that was also recorded. They showed that to me.
But has anybody known that? Is this the first time you're telling that?
Nobody's asked me about it, but I told them everything.
Oh, I didn't. I was just wondering if you were on CCTV at all that day, but they have you on CCTV on 8th.
I know. Look how fat I was
in Arizona.
Yes, correct.
With Brandon in the car.
Correct. And Sara.
Oof. I mean, that's a major problem, right?
That day.
And that is why a first-degree murder charge would be appropriate.
Hold on. You saw a boy that day as well, didn't you? You said
yes,
you saw a boy.
Further down 8th Street on the very right-hand side in somebody's yard. And he didn't look anything like Michael at any point in time.
Okay.
We didn't ever even approach the kid.
Did the boy you saw have a yellow shirt on?
It was a bright shirt, correct. From what I remember. It was shorts and a bright shirt. And he was a lot taller than the 5-year-old boy. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
So who put the power steering fluid in?
I did.
So you're on video getting out.
Correct.
And is Stacey with you at this time? I mean, Sara?
Sara? Yeah, she's driving the truck. She was in the driver's seat the whole time. Brandon was in the back seat the whole time. I was the only one to get out of the truck as it's on video. and recording, and the video shows me putting power steering fluid in the
They
truck.
showed it to you?
Yes.
Okay. When is the next time you put power steering fluid in that day? You know?
I didn't have to
Sara?
put it until the next day.
Okay.
I usually have to fill up the truck once a day with power steering fluid.
Well, no, I don't think he does now. I think that ship has sailed.
Was that the only place that you're on CCTV?
No, I was on CCTV at the splash pad.
Yes, he was at the splash pad at.
Is that the splash pad? Guy doesn't have any kids. He's at the splash pad. It's great.
I've got
Is it
so many
was
notes
that
here.
is that common? Was that common? I'm sorry, I didn't know if that's common knowledge or not.
No,
He's good.
that's proof. I saw proof from the detectives.
All right, so it sounds like Justin has went live. So if you guys want to head over there, feel free. I'll wrap it up here, but I just want to come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit. And so I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And you know, we'll keep it. We'll keep you informed as much as possible going forward. But I believe that it is. I think it's happening. So it's a great thing. All right, guys. I appreciate it.